This is Optimal Living Daily, episode 646, How to Read Like Your Success Depends on It, by Bilyeu with Success.com, and I'm Justin Malik. Happy Sunday, and welcome to the podcast where I simply read blogs to you for free, like a gigantic, ongoing audiobook with many different authors. And we have a really cool announcement across all 5 of our shows. We're now on Spotify, so if you listen to other podcasts or music there, and we're sad that you couldn't listen to the OLD podcast there before, that's all changed. We've been trying to get on Spotify for over a year now and finally did it. So feel free to listen there too. Or if you're new here and found us on Spotify, awesome. Thank you for listening. We're really happy to be part of their platform. And now let's get right to today's post as we optimize your life. How to Read Like Your Success Depends on It, by Bilyeu with Success.com. I credit my success to reading. And I read a lot. So the question that I naturally get asked all the time is how I manage to read as much as I do while still keeping up with the demands of running a company. So here's my definitive guide to reading like your success depends on it because, well, it does. Number 1, start with why. Why do I read so much? Because there's a critical math equation at work here, and it goes like this. Ideas in equals ideas out. I actually used to have a sign hanging over my desk that read II equals IO to remind me. What I mean is, I'm not worried about thinking new thoughts. I'm simply trying to make unique connections between old ideas. I believe that's what makes all of us unique. We make different connections than the next person. That's important for 2 reasons. Number 1, it means I don't need to memorize facts from the book. I'm just trying to truly understand the overarching themes that will then act as reactive molecules in the chemistry of my mind. Number 2, I always read the whole book versus an abridged or Cliff Notes version because I'm looking for the ideas that stand out to me, which might be very different than the ideas that stand out to someone else. So I don't skim, but I don't get hung up on things that don't resonate or I don't understand. Number 2, improve your reading speed. I am a ridiculously slow reader. I once had a teammate at Quest show me something he had written. I read it and told him I liked it, but he didn't believe me. Something must have bothered you. You read it 3 times. I had to laugh out loud because I had only read it once. That's just how slow I read. Reading that slowly, however, simply wouldn't do. So I had 2 choices. Number 1, learn to speed read. Tried that, and though I could move my eyes across the words faster, I couldn't understand or retain the information. Number 2, use audiobooks. I went with audiobooks. I used the Audible app. So when I say I read something, I actually mean I listen to it. The advantage here is that I can assimilate information orally very, very quickly. Also, the magic of the Audible app is that it allows you to speed up the playback, allowing you to go all the way to 3 times the normal speed. That's where I live, 3 times. To be clear though, I had to work my way up to that. I started at 1.5 times, then pushed myself to 2 times, then ultimately to 3 times. So don't expect 3 times to be intelligible from day 1. But like anything, if you push yourself and stick with it, you will get better. So push yourself. Number 3, always be reading. There's a saying in sales that I hate, ABC, always be closing. But I live by the mantra ABR, always be reading. Audiobooks are a huge help with this because as long as I have my phone and headphones, I can read literally anywhere. As such, I not only read during stretches of free time, I also read in the transitional moments of life. Here's a nearly exhaustive list of the times and places I read. Driving, in an Uber, on an airplane, walking the dogs or walking period, in the shower, while brushing my teeth, while getting dressed, while waiting anywhere if I'm alone. Without a doubt, I prefer to read when I could read for long stretches of time, but I've just found that all of the little moments add up to a lot of reading, especially at 3x, and thus a lot of new and exciting ideas. Number 4, cover a topic from all angles. I don't memorize books. I get the big ideas and move on. Don't get me wrong, I lament that I don't have a naturally prodigious memory, can pique anyone, but since I don't, and I continue to get great results from simply focusing on the big ideas, I haven't invested the energy into improving my memory or felt it necessary to back off from digesting books at 3x. Another thing that keeps me from worrying about remembering certain facts is that I usually read as many books on a given topic of interest as I can. When you do that, you'll find that themes emerge, and those themes become very familiar. And when I collect them from many different points of view, they firm up in my mind in a much richer way than they would if I slowed down and read a book like I was preparing for a final exam. This approach also ensures that I don't fall prey to the confirmation bias, reading only ideas that agree with what I already believe. This is how I read, and these are the hacks I use to absorb as many new ideas as possible. May those techniques serve you as well as they've served me. You just listened to the post titled, How to Read Like Your Success Depends on It by Tom Bilyeu with Success.com. I'd definitely add podcasts into the whole audiobook conversation, especially podcasts like the Optimal Living Daily shows where we narrate blogs for you just like an audiobook. I think blogs are just as good, if not better, than books because sometimes books can get a little fluffy, if you know what I mean. Don't get me wrong, I love books, but I love that blogs are specific and get to the point in most cases. Plus, you can listen at 2x or 1.5x or 3x speed, just like audiobooks. So yeah, I'm sure Tom would agree. Podcasts that narrate blogs will have the same effect. And if you're new here and don't know already, we have 4 other podcasts where we narrate blogs for you. Just search for Optimal Living Daily to find them. And like I mentioned at the top of the show, you can now find all 5 of our podcasts on Spotify, which is awesome. Other places include Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, and pretty much any podcast app like Overcast, Pocket Casts, etc. All right, that's enough for today. Thank you for being here. Have a happy Sunday, and I'll see you tomorrow for Minimalist Monday, where your optimal life awaits.
Hey, this is Dan from the Optimal Finance Daily podcast, which is a lot like this show, except more focused on personal finance. Justin handpicks the best posts he can find from blogs and authors like Ramit Sethi, Mr. Money Mustache, and more, and I read them to you 5 days a week. So if you enjoy this podcast, come on over and subscribe to Optimal Finance Daily too. And together, we'll optimize your financial life.
You've been listening to Optimal Living Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode and head to oldpodcast.com. That's OLDpodcast.com for a free gift as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.